Hello YouTube! Christmas has come and gone, and with it now comes the start into a new year 2018. I hope you got some really cool presents for Christmas, maybe a games console or a couple of cool games or so. So, 2018, New Year's resolutions. The new start of a new year is for many people always a good point to try and better their poor habits. The thing is, it can sometimes be quite hard to choose your New Year's resolution. I mean, you might just have too many poor habits to choose from and only want to focus on one or a few of them. So, we have scientifically determined the best 5 ways to better yourself in 2018. Without further ado, let's get right into it with place number 5. For the 5th place, what you should try to do is to reduce the time you spend on YouTube and do something else instead. The thing is, YouTube is insanely addictive and usually takes up an exorbitant amount of time of your day. This time could be spent doing productive things, or more importantly, to play video games. What's more, you might just have accumulated a massive backlog of games, especially in this year, where so many good ones came out, and maybe you're never able to find the time to actually finish them. You should easily be able to clear those games once you take the time you spend on YouTube and use it to play games instead. What's more, YouTube has now been designed to make you as addicted to it as possible through the videos it recommends to you. And it is only getting better at it every single day. I also want to make a video on exactly the addictive behaviors of YouTube quite soon, so stay tuned for that. First, you need to find out if you actually have a problem. The easiest way to do that is to do the 48-hour challenge. To complete it, all you need to do is stay off of YouTube for 48 hours. No exceptions. And seriously, don't underestimate the no exceptions part. The thing is, if you found it challenging rather than easy to stay off of YouTube for 48 hours, then I'm afraid we'll have to cut you off. Just imagine that if you spend just 2 hours a day watching YouTube, you could finish Breath of the Wild in just a month if you spend that time playing YouTube on playing the game instead. Anyways, to really find out how much time you spend on YouTube, you could get a browser add-on like Time Stats for Google Chrome, or on Firefox it's called Mind the Time. What those add-ons do is they track the amount of time you spend on each website and logs it, and then it shows it to you, and I'm pretty sure that most of you will be quite surprised. I certainly was. The reason for this New Year's resolution to be on this list is because it, in my opinion, is something that many gamers are affected by. Too often do I hear people complaining about the backlog while they instead spend so much time on YouTube just watching videos. Further, addiction is a topic that I personally really care about a lot, and is something that I struggle with myself. You know, just make sure you do not need to completely quit YouTube. You can just reduce the amount of time. And it would also be really awesome if you could subscribe to our channel and click the bell button next to the subscribe button as well. Because, you know, that way you get notified of every single new video that comes out on Red Valley Gaming, and it would also really help this channel out. Fourth place goes to learning Japanese. But why should you really learn Japanese? Quite simple. First, you gain access to all the Japanese media and games that you didn't have any access to beforehand. You can now play and understand all those unlocalized Japanese games. And censorship will also affect you to a much lesser degree. Secondly, it makes going to Japan so much easier. Duh! Obviously. And last but not least, it looks really good on your resume to be able to speak another language. Once again, to help you with the task of learning Japanese. Here are some tips. From my own personal experience, it is best to try to learn it every single day for just a little bit. Stay dedicated to it, and eventually you'll be able to speak the language. Another tip. Actually, I can't be bothered to give you any more tips since there is just so much good information already out there. I personally like Abroad in Japan's videos on learning Japanese. It is a really good channel, humorous, entertaining and educational. And there is a playlist available from that channel for videos specifically to learning Japanese. I've linked the video on the title card right here, right now. Go check it out. It's a really good channel and a really good resource for some tips on learning Japanese. Anyways, the reason this is on my list is because I'm learning Japanese myself and I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. Just recently, I met a Japanese family on the street and started talking to them in Japanese. Surprisingly, just studying the language for 3 months, I was already able to have some sort of fluent conversation with them. It was just such a rewarding experience to actually do something that you have previously thought to be impossible. But to be honest, it doesn't actually matter what you do here, be it learning Japanese or something else. Rather, take this point as an extension of the previous one. If you want to beat an addiction, the best thing to do is to fill up the time with something else instead. Try doing something new, be it playing an instrument, computer programming, or making crappy YouTube parody videos, like Red Valley Gaming does, for example, sometimes. For third place on the New Year's resolutions for gamers, we are gonna give the award to 1440p. While everyone else is going on about 4K, good and decent gaming at that resolution is still out of reach, to be honest. I mean, for the general average consumer. First, the market share for 4K displays is still fairly small, which means that a lot of content is not even produced at 4K. Sure, there are some Netflix things and YouTube vlogs being made in 4K, but the main limiting factor in streaming content is still the bitrate rather than the resolution of the content. The main way to consume 4K content is through 4K Blu-ray DVDs, and unfortunately they are expensive enough to bankrupt even a sultan. Anyways, 1440p is not that adopted either, but at least your games should run better when playing at 1440p resolution and also get a good boost in graphical quality over a 1080p display. It is also more affordable than 4K, so that is why 1440p is 2018's gaming resolution of the year. Literally and figuratively. Second place, get fit. Long gaming sessions require you to stay fueled. Mountain Dew is the grown. Obviously, I'm just kidding. That stuff is bad. It literally has enough caffeine inside of it to kill an elephant. The sugar in it is also a huge problem, because first of all, it makes you fat. However, this is reversible. You can lose weight if you try hard enough, although the damage it does to your teeth is completely ludicrous and permanent. I'm sure you'd prefer to have a shining, brilliant, and dazzling smile. That's why you should drop the Mountain Dew. Unfortunately, I had to use a Coca-Cola bottle here, because Mountain Dew isn't sold where I live. I think it's classified as a Class 2 poison or something. Anyways, the reason this is on the list is because gamers hold a stereotype that they are constantly unfit. Also, I've been uncomfortably fat myself before. And getting fit was hard, but definitely worth it. The most unexpected side benefit of getting fit is that I now spend much less money on junk food. That way I can actually save up some money, which I can then spend on video games instead. And maybe some microtransactions too, because that's apparently what we do nowadays. And don't worry, you don't need to sign up for a gym membership. There are a lot of good resources out there which help you do a perfectly good workout at home. Just a little exercise at home, it really goes a long way. The number one New Year's resolution, however, is to act upon your desires, your dreams, your thoughts, your challenges. You should act on them immediately. Quite often, people put off doing their New Year's resolution until the new year. They conceive them maybe in May, maybe in November, maybe in December. But then they say, oh yeah, alright, I'm gonna do another month, I'm gonna do it for another month, and at the start of the new year, I'm gonna do it. But the thing is, it is a really bad approach actually. People oftentimes try to wait for the perfect moment to do something. Like the perfect moment to finally ask your crush out if you're a lovebird. Unlike what Hollywood movies try to sell you, the perfect moment will never actually come. It will never actually just happen. You will have to make it happen. It is quite usual for people to have a goal, a dream, or an aspiration, and then to never actually act upon it. Sometimes the reason for it is a lack of motivation or being too tired because of other commitments in your life. But anyways, if you want to achieve something, you need to start now, and that is especially true for New Year's resolutions. I am sure you've heard so many stories of New Year's resolutions failing after just a month or even less than a month. This is exactly one of the symptoms of postponing the challenge. People see the start of a new year as a new beginning, a clean slate, so to say. However, life doesn't start anew just because the date has changed. Life is continuous. It goes on from one day to the next. And nothing is different between New Year's Eve and the morning afterwards. That is why, if you want your New Year's resolutions to be achieved, you need to start so at the moment you conceive your challenges, your dreams, your ideas. So, let's say you thought of a New Year's resolution on the November the 13th. Then you should immediately start on that day. Do not wait until the start of the new year, because that is the recipe to failing your New Year's resolution immediately. This is precisely why this is number one on the list, because it is just so much stronger than all of the others. It makes the others actually so much stronger as well. You wanna quit Reddit or YouTube? Do it right now. You wanna learn a language? Start with the vocabulary right away. You wanna play an instrument? Pick up the guitar and play some notes. You wanna get your 1440p monitor? Go on Amazon and order it right now. There are no shortcuts or things you can buy that makes those things easier. It will be hard. It will really be hard to quit an addiction or pick up a new hobby or do anything else that builds towards the dreams. But if you do manage to work every day on it, then you'll be the champion. I really hope you like this list of New Year's resolutions for gamers. Self-development or self-improvement is a topic that I personally really care about, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it, either here in the comments or maybe on our Discord server. Anyways, if you want to see more videos such as this one, make sure to subscribe to this channel, because more of them are coming, and you certainly don't want to miss them. And finally, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a really great start into your new year. So, take care and hope to see you next time. Bye!